Welcome to the Jeffco Ed Middle School Championship. That's right. We got championship football coming your way tonight. It's Mcadory taking on the Wildcats of Fultondale. Hey, folks, Matt Coulter back with you along with our crack Jeffco Ed TV crew set to bring you, that's right, middle school football. Let's look at some of the pregame activities. First, we'll start with Mcadory's send-off. This afternoon, students line.
It's incredibly challenging just because they understand your tendencies, you understand who their playmakers are, and they're going to find ways to exploit what you did well and what you didn't do well. So I think that the main thing for us is to understand that we're a better team, they're a better team, and now we just have to use the best of our abilities as coaches to scout out what they do differently and harp on what our mistakes were that got us down early in that game so that those situations don't happen again. But we've had a lot of adversity. We've been down in 4 of our games at halftime, and we managed to fight back in every one. This is our 3rd championship game in 4 years here at Mcadory, so I mean, it's just the standard we try to create. Regardless of how the game starts, we know that our best is demanded at the biggest moments, and we're either going to make those plays when we need them to or not. So I think that just shows the culture we're building around here, that we're going to face adversity, but the expectation and the standard for success remains the same. Coaching there has really done a great job preparing them for the next level, and I mean, I think that's a wonderful chance for our guys to get to compete with those people who have had that experience. I think that that's what we're here to do. We're here to help guys get ready for the high school level. That's the whole point of middle school ball, and I'm excited to see how our guys meet that challenge, and I think they're ready for it.
The main focus this week, coming out getting ready for Mcadory, we're practicing to prevent turnovers, just being disciplined on both sides of the ball, creating turnovers on the defensive side, but making sure we hold on to the football, no penalties, that type of stuff. So Mcadory Wisner, he's the leader of the team on the offensive side, man. When he speaks, the team listens. I'm very proud of him at that. Defensive side, Anthony Crenshaw. He's our middle linebacker, so he's like the quarterback of the defense. So those are our 2 team leaders. This year, man, like I said, giving credit to, the coaching staff, the kids, just being able to come out and give a game plan and everybody, come out and perform it, to the best of our ability, man, and just getting the job done.
I talked to both those coaches last night, and just both class acts. And speaking of Curtis White, the head coach for Fultondale, in his first year, he's been named the Jeffco Middle School Coach of the Year, which was voted on by his fellow coaches, and got a chance to catch up with Coach White about that honor.
Like I said, that means a lot, man. I appreciate all the coaches who, nominated me, man. But it goes back to my coaches and players, man. They had me back all season, and we're trying to change things here, man, and build it, the right way. So.
This is the 2nd year that Jeffco Ed TV's had the privilege of doing the middle school championship. Last year, it was Minor versus Irwin, and it was a great football game, as you'll hear in this replay from Scott Griffin.
Wide open in the middle. Mills delivers it beautifully to Nelson. Nelson is on his horse. Nelson will score it.
Well, thank you, Scott. Minor won that game a year ago. This video is the Tigers celebrating during the trophy presentation. We'll be doing that here in just a couple of hours. We heard the coaches talk about some of them earlier. Why don't we meet the players for both Fultondale and Mcadory?
Jackson Brown, quarterback and safety. Demetrius Jackson, running back, linebacker.
Isaiah Lee, running back and cornerback.
Brandon Burrows, running back and middle linebacker.
Jordan Williams, running back safety.
Quincy Strickland, wide receiver and cornerback.
Jamari Morris, wide receiver and cornerback.
Ramon McLemore, wide receiver and linebacker.
Jordan Lacey, wide receiver and outside linebacker.
Joe Webb, wide receiver.
Jacob Lewis, center, D-tackle.
Bryson Wilson, left guard.
Cardale Washington, right guard and defense tackle.
Jalen Clark, tight end. Cameron Lewis, defensive tackle.
Dwayne Sanders, defensive end.
Michael Kennedy, offensive tackle.
Jalen Conaway, defensive end.
Jamari Morris, cornerback and wide receiver.
Carson Green, free safety.
Trey Cranford, Mcadory Middle School, head coach. Go Jackets.
Kyle Wisnett, quarterback. Derek McGee, running back. Carson Osborne, wide receiver.
Zion Hunt, wide receiver.
Joshua Reese, wide receiver.
D'Angelo Lesson, and wide receiver.
Eric Mayweather, receiver.
Anthony Peterson, center.
Masai Ali, right guard.
Roger Clay Sharp, offensive guard.
Joshua Muhammad, offensive tackle.
Doc McGee, offensive tackle.
Joshua Muhammad, defensive tackle.
Keldrick Williams, defensive tackle.
Zion Hunt, defensive end.
Jamal Alcorn, defensive end.
Anthony Crenshaw, linebacker.
Jamal Saunders, linebacker.
Kobe Silas, cornerback.
D'Angelo Lesson, cornerback.
Eric McGee, strong safety. Malachi Jackson, safety. Carson Osborne, free safety.
Curtis White, head football coach of the Fultondale Middle School football team. Welcome to tonight's game, and go Wildcats.
Well, you've met the teams, you've met the head coaches, Yellow Jackets, and the Fultondale Wildcats. They're at home, and they're going to stop talking about it. It's time to start playing. Championship football is coming up. Myself, Caleb Turntine, and this wonderful crew coming up on Jeffco Ed TV.
Step into the magic of the holiday season. On December 12th, join us at the historic Florentine for the Winter Wonderland Gala and silent auction. Enjoy an evening of live music, festive drinks, and delicious food, all while supporting the Jefferson County Schools Education Foundation. Reserve your tickets today by scanning the QR code on your screen or go to jeffcoed.com/gala. This event is for guests 21 and older.
I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years.
Hey, let's get some championship football going here at Fultondale High School, home of the Wildcats. They are entertaining Mcadory for the championship of 7th and 8th grade football players here in Jefferson County. And with this, we will start the game in a moment after our national anthem.
Gentlemen, take off your hats.
Our national anthem as played by the Fultondale Wildcat Marching Band. Matt Coulter back with you on Jeffco Ed TV along with Caleb Turrentine. You and I are going to spend a lot of time together. Last Friday, then tonight, and we'll be tomorrow. We'll have Bessemer City at Mcadory, so I hope you're prepared for a lot of dealing with Matt. I'm looking forward to the games, aren't you?
3 nights and 7 days. That's what we dream of. It's football
it's
season.
what we do.
And we couldn't have asked for better weather on all 3 nights. I don't think so far. I'm not jinxing anything tomorrow night, but it feels like fall football, and with a championship on the line, that kind of feels right at this point in the season.
Middle school obviously is different just from sheer age because these are 7th and 8th graders. I mean, these guys aren't driving yet. But high school plays 12-minute quarters. We will play 8. And something else I have learned, they don't punt in middle school. So
move the ball down the field and change possession.
It's a lot like what my grandchildren are doing, which I think there's a huge safety factor involved, and I'm all for that.
Side with the chevrons, that's tails, okay? Yes, sir. What's that?
Tails. What you call?
It's tails. What you want to do, sir?
The first and second half.
The first, second half?
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming you want the ball. Which goal you want to defend? You want to defend that goal? So I'm going to kick to the clock. All right, gentlemen, this is what we're doing. We're playing football, okay? Yes, so you play football till you hear the whistle. When you hear the whistle, let it go. All right? Okay, white team, put your backs over here, please, sir. Move over here.
There you see the toss of the coin. It was tails. Mcadory won it, and as so often done, Caleb, they've deferred. Rare is the case these days where somebody just says, hey, I want the football. Now, I'm showing my age, but I remember back in the day, you always took the football. That's not now. You want to try and gain momentum going into the half and then pick it up going out by having a football.
Yeah, you can flip a game on its head no matter what's going on. And it's funny you mentioned that. That's what happened last year in this middle school championship game. That play that we saw in the pregame, that was right before the end of the first half, and that flipped that game for Minor. And that changed it. That changed that game last year. So I think that might be their thought process right now. If it's Mcadory, they're experienced in this championship game. You heard Coach Cranford mention that. This is their 3rd in 4 years. So
yeah.
This isn't too big of a stage to them. Obviously new players, but they know how to get them prepared. And I think that's one of those things, football IQ. That's a big thing that you're trying to teach them at this age.
Well, you would imagine since these teams are in the middle school championship game that they have great records. They're both 6-1. They divide it into divisions, don't they? Here's the East winner, here's the West winner, right? That's what I was told. Is both were 6-1 because the only defeat for Mcadory, I believe, was Irwin, and the only defeat for the Wildcats was when they opened the season with Mcadory. So I would say it's an understatement to say these two teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah, that game early on in the season being a good one. I think everyone here kind of hopes we get that same kind of game. Maybe not both coaching staffs. They don't want that kind of stress, that kind of pressure. I think they both hope they can pull away from the other team. But us here in the booth, I think we're hoping to have something similar to that, having a good game tonight. And I think I'm expecting it from these two teams who played so closely early in the season and with a lot on the line. You might see some nerves early on, as you do with younger kids. You see it at the high school level. You certainly see it at the middle school level. But once they get settled in, start playing football, these teams are very evenly matched.
Officials will place the ball at the 40-yard line, and that's where Rodriguez Sharp will kick it. The upbacks for the Wildcats are between the 25 and the 20. You hear the whistle? Let's get ready for championship football here on Jeffco Ed TV. Rodriguez, the boot. It is fielded at the 20. Wildcat across the 25, running lateral. Now he cuts back up the field. He's got running room, and out of bounds, he dances at the 41-yard line, where Fultondale will have the ball 1st and 10. Makai Wisenhunt, jersey number 12. He's the starter for Curtis White's Fultondale Wildcats. He's thrown over 20 touchdown passes this year. And my math here, that's in 7 games. It's about 3 a game.
Yeah, and then you heard Coach White talk about him. It's obviously what he can do with the ball in his hands, and they trust him to throw the ball. They trust him to run the ball. But it's also about his leadership and what he means to this team. And if he says something, the rest of that team listens to him.
He takes the snap. Handoff. McGee might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. McGee is going to tote the mail. Love his pink socks. It's, as you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And he'll get the majority of the carries at running back for the Wildcats. There you see him flanked to the right of Wisenhunt. Mcadory plays a 4-3. Wisenhunt dumps it off. There's McGee, 45, 50. He's got first down yardage, and he's inside Mcadory territory.
Yeah, a little surprised. Looked like he must have stepped out. I think they had him marked to the 49. Looked a little short. The chains were actually moving already.
Well, that's because I told them to. Well, now they are. So the line of scrimmage will be the 49-yard line for Mcadory, and I'm not sure that was actually enough for the first down, but we're moving on. Wisenhunt with the snap, back to pass, complete, the 45, down to the 41-yard line. That'll be short of a first down, but it'll bring up second and very short. Might have been Carson Osborne, Hudson, or Merriweather. And Hunt. Those are the wide receivers that Mekhi Wisenhunt has to choose from. And you got 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. McGee gets the carry inside, makes one man miss, then inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, and that's going to be very, very close to a first down. They haven't flipped the numbers yet.
I think that time he did get that. I think he fell forward. I think the spot was right. The official on the near sideline is trying to signal a first down.
You're looking at 12. That's Wisenhunt. And 6, that's McGee. Wisenhunt, with all he has done this year, Coach White wanted to remind me a couple of times, he's just a 7th grader. Snap, quick throw, and a whistle. The linesman throws it. In fact, both linesmen threw it, so that would indicate an offsides on someone. Or false start.
Dead ball penalty either way.
Yeah, it is.
Something that happens at the line of scrimmage. Both sides see it so quickly.
So that'll back the football up. So the line of scrimmage will now be just inside the 45-yard line at the 44. Wisenhunt. Out of the gun formation, about 5 yards deep behind Anthony Peterson. Wisenhunt stops, looks to the sideline. Wisenhunt rolls, just a simple toss. First stoppage in play. Was it another procedure there, Caleb?
It was on the near sideline. Looked like a receiver moved. They've done a hard count, a couple of plays in a row here, and it's only hurt themselves as opposed to actually getting the defense to jump, and you're getting behind the chains, 1st and 20. And, again, middle school level, you'll see them throw the ball, but they're not going to be throwing the ball 30, 40 yards down the field very often. So you get yourself in 1st and 20. That's a hard hole to dig out of.
So now you got 1st and 20. Still just edged inside Mcadory territory. There's McGee. Bounces it outside. He's got a lot of real estate inside the 40. Inside the 30. And out of bounds. That'll be a first down. They needed 20. They got 25.
Yeah, they switch it up on the handoff. That goes to D'Angelo Hudson on the outside. We saw him on the kick return and on one catch. They clearly have multiple guys they want to get the ball in different ways.
Correction on your quarterback. The 7th grader is Wisenhunt. I've been saying Hunt, and my apologize to Fultondale and especially to his family. Wisenant. 1st and 10, ball at the 29-yard line. Fultondale on their first drive. Wisenant looks one way. Now he wants to loft it deep. He has got a man open, tipped away at the last minute, just at the 12-yard line. Pass was intended for Carson Osborne.
And credit to Mcadory's defense. It looked like they wanted Fultondale wanted to do a little swing pass out to the right. Quickly covered. Wisenant kept it. Didn't force a throw. Did a good job. And then the throw out wide left was just a little bit late. 2 hands on the ball. Every coach is going to say you got to catch that. But if he throws that a little bit earlier, it makes it an easier catch for the receiver.
Incomplete pass. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Wisenant. He keeps himself after the fake to McGee. He's going to get to the 25-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd and 6. First drive of the game, they've already chewed up half the quarter, or close to it, at 4.5 minutes remaining. Again, 8-minute quarters here at the Middle School Football Championship. Fultondale's hosting Mcadory. Glad you are with us here on Jeffco Ed TV. Just shy of the 25-yard line. Wildcats in the gun. 2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Long snap count. Wisenant looks one way, back the other, and overthrows his intended receiver. That's Zion Hunt.
Well, I said they might not throw the ball downfield very much, but that was a good-looking throw. It was wide, but that had a tight spiral. Easily had 30 air yards on that.
Coming right at you.
Just to the outside shoulder. You got to put that on the inside. And clearly a go-for-it situation on 4th down where you're not going to be kicking field goals from this far. And obviously punt would just be a touchback from here.
Back to pass. Mackay, he's got a man open in the end zone, and it is incomplete. His intended receiver was D'Angelo Hudson. And they'll turn it over on downs with 3:49 remaining here in the quarter. And now the Yellow Jackets get a chance to sting.
Yeah, getting 32-yard drive, like you said, more than 4 minutes off the clock, and they get nothing to show for it. I'm sure that's going to sting a little bit. But you still got to feel like you moved the ball well. You had your opportunities. Might have missed a couple of deep shots you thought you had.
Chris Osborne on the sideline. What you got?
Hey, good evening, guys. I tell you what, that pass play we just watched had touchdown written all over it until the defensive back said no, no, no. What a great defensive play by the middle schooler here. Hey, it's a tight game, and I tell you what, Mcadory's holding their own on defense. Back to you guys up top.
Yeah, they bent, but they didn't break. Gave up a few first downs. Now they've got the ball just outside their 25. Inside handoff, steamrolling for a gain of about 8.
Boy, that's how you make your presence felt early on in a game. The first contact that he's had while running the ball, and he just runs over a defender at the line of scrimmage. Turned a 2-yard gain into an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, Demetrius Jackson is one of a host of Yellow Jacket running backs, and it looks to me like Fultondale just jumped off sides, and it wasn't just one. Zion Hunt may be the first at right end. But that'll give him a first down, so Mcadory's on a roll here.
Now, you don't want to say it's something you're going to see at the middle school level, but it's something you're going to see at the middle school level,
wow.
Especially when even this far into the season, this is a game that clearly means more. You're going to see some nerves. You're going to see some extra aggression early on. Obviously trying to make a stop, they just jumped. Everyone jumped a little too early.
Jackson Graham takes the snap for Mcadory, and he throws. Crossing pattern. And that is complete right at midfield. On the receiving end. Might have been Isaiah Lee, but the numbers are rolled up in the jersey there, so it's a little difficult to tell. Graham is a pure pocket passer, as Trey Cranford told me last night. Although he's mobile enough to move around, but they like to keep him in the pocket and throw to the variety of wide receivers, McLemore, Strickland, Morris, Inside handoff. That looks like Lee again, breaking away inside the 20, and he is going to go all the way for the touchdown on the carry. It was Demetrius Jackson, his second carry of the evening, and that one went 51 yards for the touchdown.
Well, you can tell someone came ready to play tonight. Between his first run and that run, he looks like he's playing on a different level from anybody else out there right now. 2 big carries. Sought contact on the first one. Didn't need to on the second one. And once he hit the second level, it didn't feel like anyone was going to be able to touch Jackson. 51 yards for a touchdown, the opening score.
Now, Yenzi Castro Rodriguez is Mcadory's place kicker. And at this level, to just be honest with you, kickers haven't quite developed all the way, and they may just go for 2 here. Although it looks like Castro Rodriguez is standing at the 10-yard line.
We saw him warming up, and he was making some extra points from here.
Well,
it's a little different in game, though.
It is. It's very distant. Christina's on the sideline. What's going on, young lady?
Well, guys, Mcadory head coach James Trey Cranford talked about Demetrius Jackson and just how much he brings to this team. You saw on that play, he gets on the scoreboard for Mcadory, but he said it's his personality and character on and off the field that really inspires this team. He says he's the heartbeat. He gets everybody to rally around him, and that energy is what they need on the sidelines, and you saw that on that last play.
Thank you, Christina Chambers. She'll be joining us on the Mcadory sideline. And as you just saw, Chris Osborne, likewise, on the home team sideline. But it's just like you mentioned, didn't he? He kind of set the tones like she was referring to. That first gain, it wasn't a first down, but it was 8 yards. And once he got in past the line of scrimmage, he was knocking people down.
And, I mean, you got to think at a certain point, you get run over like that, hey, maybe you don't want to be that first guy that hits him at the line of scrimmage. You get in their head, you try to tackle them in a different way, and it slows you down. You're thinking too much about how to make a tackle, and when you don't get the first step on a guy like that, he will run past you, and that's exactly what he did the next time he touched the ball.
So set to kick off, and leading 6-0, the Yellow Jackets from Mcadory. Fultondale will certainly try and answer. Thought it was straight on, but now he will, there's a soccer kick at the 20-yard line, bringing it out to the 25, dancing and then slung down.
Terrific coverage by Mcadory there, and this is where you can get into a little bit of dangerous territory. I mean, it still feels early, right? But as you said, shorter quarters, not as much football to work with. And you don't want to get to the point where you're down 2 scores chasing a game when you don't have as much time and as many possessions to work with. Fultondale doesn't need to be desperate or anything, but already it kind of feels like they might need to have a sense of urgency to try to get on the scoreboard on this drive.
Stoppage in play. Now here come the Wildcats in the dark blue with the orange numerals and the white piping. Meanwhile, Yellow Jackets are pretty much in all white with some gold trim. Going to throw deep, man's wide open, but the play was blown dead at the line of scrimmage. That'll back them up. False start.
Already the 4th penalty on the Wildcats.
And they've all been of this variety.
Yeah, 3 false starts and 1 offside.
That'll back them up to the 19-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 15.
I think Coach White's asking for an explanation from the official on this sideline. Not sure he got one that he liked very much.
They usually don't. Wisenant wants to throw, does. To the 15-yard line. Weaving in and out, that's Hudson. And he may have enough for Wildcats first down. They're moving the sticks in a hurry. Line of scrimmage will be right outside the 35-yard line. No, right inside the 35. Now they're walking back. Wow. It is not a first down. They must be tiptoeing out of bounds, out of my sight.
It's an easy read for the quarterback on that play. Trips were out to the right, and they only had one defender out there. Quick throw and get a block. You get a lot of the yards back.
McGee gets the handoff, and he is immediately met by a couple of Wildcats. Demetrius Jackson may have been in on the tackle. You know, you see players go both ways, sometimes at the high school level, but at the middle school level, I'd say about half of them go both ways. There's another whistle, Caleb. And, man, Wizenant is frustrated. Now, you're saying this one's against Mcadory? I would give him a first down.
Yeah, it's going to give him a first down, but that's one of those times where you kind of, if you're Fultondale, you wish that the offside wasn't an automatic dead ball penalty, because I think he was going to get well more than 5 yards on that carry.
There's the cheerleaders. You saw them earlier at the school. There's a quick pass into the flat. Don't know if that was lateral or not, but either way, they're going to lose 2 or 3 yards. So that pass was intended or actually was caught by Hudson, another 7th grader.
Yeah, good adjustment by the Mcadory defense on that quick throw. They had one extra guy out there, and he read it a little bit more quickly, got to the ball, made a sure tackle in the backfield.
Makai Wizenant has 3 flanked to his right. McGee is again the lone setback. Wants to throw. He is under pressure. Yellow Jackets have got him on the run. Now he's on the run, and he'll get about half of the necessary yardage back as he crosses the 40-yard line.
I've seen a lot that I like from Wizenant. Just the fact he plays like a quarterback, being able to roll to your backside, feel the pressure, and still be able to gain yards and get out of bounds to avoid a hit. I mean, as a 7th grader, this kid already looks like somebody who will be a quarterback at least at the high school level.
Coach said he might start in a couple of years because he's just a 7th grader at the high school level. 3rd and right at 5 from the 43. He wants to throw, dumps it out in the flat. McGee makes a nice one-handed catch, gets enough for the first down as he goes out of bounds right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, so made that catch look much easier than it probably was.
Good hands.
Throw was a little off, but being able to stick your hand out there and bring it in while still knowing what's in front of you and get the first down.
You were talking about how he takes command as a leader, and he's certainly showing it right there. 1st and 10, ball right at the 50-yard line. Mcadory leads at 6-0. Fultondale trying to respond. The roll, they throw, and that play might have gotten a half a yard, making an outstanding hit. Number 3. And that stops it. And that's also, as we slow motion replay on this, the replay, as we go to the end of the first quarter. Yellow Jackets in front 6-0. First quarter in the books. Mcadory put 6 on the board, and they lead 6-0. Fultondale has picked up a couple of first downs. They're just shy of midfield following a play that lost a yard. But it'll be second and very short. It'll be 2nd and 9 as they have reversed the fields. Well,
they haven't switched sides, though. They reversed the change. They haven't switched sides yet.
Now they're going to switch it. You'd figure after 7 games. But you know what? I was confused too, so I'm certainly not going to take off on 7th and 8th graders.
Fultondale ran 15 offensive snaps in that first quarter. Mcadory ran 3. And that's just how this game goes sometimes. Mcadory seemingly in control. Fultondale moved the ball on their opening drive. They're moving the ball on their second drive. But you got to get points at some point. And just now being at midfield, you got to think they need to turn it up a notch on getting chunk plays.
Take a look at Fultondale's line of scrimmage and their formation here. They have one receiver towards the boundary and then one on this side in kind of a slot formation, more of an H-back.
I think it's the second time that questioned the chains.
Well,
they had it correct. They had it at the 50, and there was a 1-yard gain. And now they're changing it to the 49 and a 1-yard loss.
So now it's 2nd and 10. You know, as long as they're getting it right.
I don't think they are.
Well, now they've moved the actual stick.
I mean, instead of
moves it back.
Instead of the 40, they have to get to the 38 for a first down. This is when you wish that if you're a middle school coach, you wish you had somebody up here with film to rewatch it.
Yeah. As it stands, though, it is now 2nd and 12.
I think Coach White has.
Well, he's out on the field.
I think he's got it checked on.
Yeah.
They're moving it
okay,
back
now are they going to go back where it's 2nd and 10 or what we originally thought was 2nd and 9?
I gave him a yard. He got a yard on that last pass.
Chris may have an explanation on the Fultondale sideline.
Well, guys, I can tell you Coach White must have been listening to you guys up in the booth because he immediately said it's supposed to be 2nd and 1. He ran out on the field before the play even got a chance to move. So you guys are spot on, and that's exactly what happened.
Still not sure they got it right from what we were thinking about, and I know
Curtis White are set correct right now. Just take the next snap and stop talking about it.
Let's move.
And then you'll get it right and you'll be fine.
Hey, you mentioned it earlier. What a beautiful night for football. Just a little chill in the air, as it should be, with fall.
As it's supposed to be. Fall and football.
A little light jacket weather now.
Conversation continues. This is just, if you were with us on Friday night, it just feels like the exact same thing that we dealt with the other night.
I talked with Curtis White, and we mentioned in the pregame that he was the coach of the year in this region after leading his team 6-1 and now in the championship game. I said, where'd you coach last year? And he said, Pee Wee. I went, what? He said, yeah, last 5 or 6 years I've been just coaching like 5th and 6th graders, you know. What we used to call like 80-pound football. You remember that?
When it was by weight.
Basically, he was coaching rec league.
Would it surprise you to know that I never made it past 75-pound football?
Well, you made it past 75 pounds.
Not when I was playing football. I think I was probably 15, 20 pounds below that.
I had that problem, too. I was trying to play quarterback, and sometimes my head would rest on the top of the center. I was so little. Eventually, I turned my thoughts to baseball. All right. Here we go, maybe. 2nd and 9. Now the officials have gone to the far boundary to talk with Trey Cranford, the Mcadory coach. And as long as we've got time, Trey Cranford's an interesting guy.
It's a perfect time to say it. I graduated high school with Trey Cranford from Pelham High School in 2012.
2012. I didn't know y'all went to school together.
We did. We sure did. Hey, look, we got a replay of the last play of the first quarter.
Okay.
Which was at the 50-yard line.
Right. And
then it'll be a pass out here to the right and a hit immediately.
Yeah, good smash by the secondary or pass it possibly the outside linebacker.
But the forward progress where he catches the ball is about the 49.
Yep.
1-yard gain. 2nd and 9 from the 49-yard line.
And that's the way I have it right now. It may be subject to change.
I think we just got used as a replay room.
Well, hey, that's all right. Like I've always said, even though sometimes it takes extraordinarily long, get it right.
That's right. I will always
So did they come in here?
I did. I just realized that there was someone over my shoulder. They got it. They got it right.
Way to go, Rocket, who is our producer. Chris is on the sidelines. Maybe he has more.
All right, guys, I actually spoke with one of the referees, and he said exactly what we've all been saying. What I just told you is it's 2nd and 1, but he said, we're dealing with a volunteer chain gang, so they had to make sure that the chain gang understood where it was supposed to be marked, and that's what the holdup was.
And believe it or not, they're actually in play formation now. Wizenant, he hands out. That's Hudson. Might have gotten a yard, 2, 3, and then he is thrown back. D'Angelo Hudson, wide receiver, lines of wide receiver, also carries the ball from running back slot and also a return man, 7th grader.
They're going to get him the ball plenty tonight. They're going to get him the ball plenty next year. Then eventually the high school team will be getting him the ball plenty for 4 years, if I had to guess.
Quite a few of these players will dress on Friday nights. Now, if they play, that's probably questionable. But if you're good enough to dress out as an 8th grader, a high school team, you got some talent. Whistles blow once again.
They were in a little bit of a rush to get that snap off. Play clock winding down. I don't think the receivers on the far side or on the near side got set, except they are calling it offsides instead.
Wow. So that'll give them a first down. I think the chains will go that far. We have the 46 seconds of the second quarter took longer than the first quarter.
But they got the spot right.
And that's,
and they
like
got
I
the
said,
spot right.
That's the key. So it will be first down for the Wildcats. Number 12, Mekhi Wizenant. Takes, throws quickly, this sideline. That's Reese. Reese breaks a tackle. He's on the loose inside the 30 and carried out of bounds the 27-yard line. Big play, first down. Wildcats are moving the football just like they did in the first quarter. This time they got to get points.
Yeah, that move was really something else. Being able to make that kind of move as soon as you catch the ball in the backfield. It's what those swing passes do. You got to make the first man miss, and that is what opens up the space for him. He was able to take advantage of it.
Reese will line up in the slot, having just caught that football. Quick handoff. McGee up the middle. I might have gotten one. So that'll bring up a second down and long.
2nd and 9 after a 1-yard gain. Just so we are all on the same page here.
Moving the rock, pushing the rock. Let's see. They've got the line of scrimmage. I'll say 28, maybe 27. Wizenant wants to throw, has a man open and bobbled and incomplete, intended for Zion Hunt. He had a chance to pull that one in there, Caleb.
Yeah, that was definitely in bounds. If it wasn't for the bobble, catch it cleanly, and you're going to have your feet in bounds. And once it got to that point, it didn't matter whether he caught the ball or not. Wizenant is putting good balls out there to be able to be caught. And again, you're talking middle school level. We see drops at the high school level. We see drops at the college level. We see drops at the NFL level. There's going to be more. You just can't get down on yourself and be ready for that next pass to come your way.
Now, I believe Fultondale wants to call a timeout and talk things over. 6:17 remaining in the second quarter, in the first half. Mcadory Middle leading Fultondale Middle by a score of 6-0. Back with more on Jeff Coed TV. Middle school championship, East versus West. And right now, Mcadory has a 6-0 lead, but Fultondale is moving the football just outside the 25-yard line. 27-yard line, Wisenant. Takes the snap, rolling to his left. Little whoopee shovel pass, almost picked off. He was trying to find McGee, but instead, Raymond McLemore, which his coach called him a dog. It's a big word used now. Actually, I think it's been around a while. I may have even used that when I was young. If you're a dog, that means you get after it.
Fultondale had the screen set up nicely. Wasn't it just didn't get the pass off? I don't know if there was too many guys in his face. He didn't think he'd get it off, or the running back, McGee, just didn't go wide enough. But they tried to set that up, and if he could have connected with a pass, he had a lot of room to work with.
They need 9. He's on the run. Now he's going to pull it down and do just that. Out of bounds at the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. Not nearly enough for a first down. So it's 4th down. No punting in middle school, so it's an obvious go for it. Did they flip him back over?
That was.
Might be 3rd down.
That was 4th down.
Now they got 1st down. Okay. I'm as confused as everybody was just a couple of minutes ago. That was 4th down, but according to the sticks, it's 1st and 4. They'll move them.
Just another long drive for Fultondale. That one has actually 51 yards, 12 plays. And, again, nothing to show for it.
Hey, tomorrow we're going to be at it again. It's game day for our game of the week, which is Bessemer City at Mcadory, and you can watch it right here on Jeffco Ed TV. Taking a knee, talking things over. Have an injured player on the sideline. While they tend to that Wildcat, let's take a break on Jeffco Ed TV. Injury was on the Wildcat sideline, but it was a yellow cat, a yellow jacket. And the guy we were just talking about being a dog, that was Raymond McLemore. And if you're a Mcadory fan, you want to see him back in there. So, turnover on downs again for Fultondale. It gives the Yellow Jackets the ball at the 25-yard line. Graham, a right-handed slinger, hands it off, trying to run a sweep, 25, bounces back outside the 30, the 35, and headed out of bounds. Well, and with a flag.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a defensive face mask there. It's, the run, he took it out wide and had plenty of space to work with, and then when he got a face mask, he looked to the ref. He was still in bounds. I don't think he knew he was still in bounds. You can't be asking for a flag when you're still in bounds and have the ball. You gotta keep running.
Personal foul. You called it, my color analyst. So you're going to tack 15 onto that, and that will go into Wildcat territory. They'll mark it at the 47-yard line. Jackson Graham breaks him out of the huddle. There's an obvious pull on the face mask.
You see him asking the ref, looking back. He's about to get hit. You got to brace yourself.
Number 8, Jackson Graham, your pocket passer for Mcadory, has two running backs, one to the left, one to the right. They'll operate out of the gun. He's going to keep it. That's Graham. he gets upended, literally, after about an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, they might not want him running the ball too much, but that was clearly a design run for Graham. I think he might, I don't know if it's too early to say you want to slow things down, but they're certainly going slower than they did on their first few plays. I mean, again, that was only their 5th snap of the game compared to 25 for Fultondale.
But 6-0 guys in wide. Man in motion. Joe Webb. No, that's actually Lacey. Slashing is Lee. First down yardage. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe a knee short. Maybe more than that. 4:28 remaining here in the first half of play. It's a 2025 middle school football championship here at Fultondale. Yellow Jacks' 6-0 lead, and they are moving the football again. 3rd down and 3. Ball at the 39-yard line. Maybe closer to 2. Four minutes now. Halfway through the second quarter. Rolling is Graham, and Graham is literally tossed to the ground. Coming through is Jamel Alcorn.
Boy,
He's one of those guys that dresses out on Friday nights. Maybe we see why now.
Yeah, you see his size, and once he was able to get back there, I think Graham kind of realized he didn't have a chance. Maybe a good play by a quarterback, swallow the ball and go down. You don't want to force anything. Could have easily been a fumble. Alcorn got there in a hurry, though. I think you might see our first punt of the night right here.
Which is a punt, but not really a punt. Let's go to the sidelines. Chris Osborne.
I can tell you, Coach White contributed to that sack individually. He made those guys shift right before that ball was snapped. He recognized that something was a little bit off. So kudos and hats off to Coach White for recognizing that and getting his defense to make the necessary shift. Back to you guys up top.
Thank you, Chris. Nice report. And again, I will emphasize the coach of the year in this region, Curtis White, who you just speaking of. Last year, he's coaching 80-pounders. And on the other side, Trey Cranford, you went to high school with.
Got a little bit of connections everywhere.
You know, I found my conversations with both to be very fascinating. Trey Cranford is an old school guy. You know, he was talking to me about how he's raised. He says he loves Jimi Hendrix. You know, he actually knew what Redbud meant in Citizen Kane history. We'll check in with Chris Osborne in just a second after this snap. Christina. And Christina is on the sideline for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, guys, Mcadory head coach Cranford was talking on the sidelines, and right before the defense came out on this drive, they talked about, hey, guys, we cannot give up any points. We have less than 3 minutes to the half. We get the ball to start the second half. We need to go out there and play hard every single snap until you reach halftime, just trying to get any motivation to get a stop here on this drive.
All right. Here come the Wildcats. Thank you, Christina. Swing out of the flat. 15, maybe the 18-yard line. Jordan Lacey there to make the stop.
We talked about it early when they elected to defer at the coin toss. It's all about the final 2 minutes of the first half, and the first 2 minutes of the second half can change a game. And Christina was right on the money. This is a big drive for both teams. Mcadory trying to keep control, and Fultondale just trying to get back into this thing.
Well, if the night proves to form, they'll get down to the 20. They've done it to both of their drives here, but they didn't get points out. And Christina's right. Got to get something on the board. There's the inside handoff. Jackson. Let's check that. That's McGee again on the carry.
They clearly want to get McGee going. He has been their workhorse in the backfield. It's his 5th carry, but that 4-yard gain is his longest carry of the night. So they need to get a little bit more from him if they want to start, especially if they want to start finishing on these drives.
Wisenant throws, ball tipped in the air. It is almost intercepted by Mcadory on the far boundary, and he is upset.
You can see the way they jump up and down on that sideline. It's a little easier maybe when you drop an interception than dropping a pass, because like you still deflected the ball, you still got to stop on 3rd down, but that could have been a game-changing play because it felt like there was 6 written all over that if he was able to grab a hold of that ball.
Wisenant like to have that one back. I believe Carson Green was the yellow jacket that broke up the pass. A little chat with quarterback. 58 seconds remaining in the first half of play.
Yeah, except clock continues to move.
Well, it looks like somebody has called for a timeout.
I saw a signal from the head official. That was about 20, 25 seconds.
Yeah, they've stopped it now at 51. And this is instead of physically punting the football, they will measure off 30 or 40.
That was 30.
It was 30. And that will give the Yellow Jackets of football a chance to do some damage here in the waning seconds of the first half. Another back is in. This is a guy they call Tank, number 40. And you just saw, timeout, Mcadory. You just saw why they call him Tank, the way he runs. He's a bruiser. But he's 5'8", 193. It's a great nickname, isn't it?
Interesting time to pull out Tank for the first time in this game is from midfield when, you're probably trying to save some clock, want to get some yards quickly.
Yeah.
But maybe you thought, hey, get out there and bulldoze over a few people.
Well, he got
See
3.
how far you get
and
go from there. He tried to go wide, though. I think that might be something they probably didn't want
Tanks
him to do.
don't go wide, right? Slashers go wide. He got 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And who knows? This is middle school football, but they may be giving the Wildcats that look, and out of that formation, they do something in the 4th quarter to win it all. Who knows?
Though we haven't seen Graham really let it loose yet. He has 1 pass attempt, and that was a little swing pass to the outside that gained 10 yards. I think for Fultondale, you just have to make sure to not get beat over the top.
Deep is Jackson Graham. Mcadory quarterback. He looks to the sideline. He's got 1 blue and 1 red shoe. Interesting. And a lime green mouthpiece. From midfield, fumbled snap, and there's number 10 again. That is Jamal Alcorn. But actually, that is not Graham in taking snaps. That is Jordan Lacey.
And it'll be interesting if we can figure out if that something's going on with Graham as they've had different guys take snaps on this drive.
Ooh, Lacey carries, hammered, twists. He's still on the run. Lacey at the 30. Inside the 30, down to the 25-yard line goes Jordan Lacey. Well, now I know why they put him in.
Yeah, we saw the FAR official signal for a timeout. By the looks of it, I think that he was down with a second left. Clock's supposed to stop when he moved the chains, and I did see a timeout over there. Fultondale's walking off the field.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be hard to get him back. Hey, fellas. Come back.
And Coach Cranford is signaling Mcadory's team to get off to the other side.
We'll get a chat with the coaches here in a minute. Christina and Chris on the sideline for us tonight. The officials are still talking about it. Meantime, let's go down to Christina.
Coach, an exciting finish right there in the first half. What do you guys need to do on offense to sustain drives in the second half?
Bottom line is we got to keep pounding the rock. We're a run first team at the end of the day, and we can't let ourselves get into these third and long situations that limit our play style. And then after that, we just got to pound the rock, baby, and be violent. It's a simple game, blocking and tackling.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Class of 2011 or 2012?
2012.
Okay. You and Trey were at the same high school.
We were.
Now, did y'all hang around the same group? Did you already have him on your phone? When you called him, did he recognize you? Did he know you were doing the game? All those questions.
Not. I actually knew he was at Mcadory for the last few years, and I didn't even really put it together until I saw the pregame interview. I was like, wow, I really should have gone over there and talked to him. But I'll definitely find him after the game, and we'll reminisce a little bit about the Pelham days.
Well, Trey Cranford and Curtis White, the head coaches of these two middle schools, will head into the locker room. They'll talk over, discuss, find out what they did right, find out what they did wrong, and then we'll be back with the third quarter of action. You're watching Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeff Coed family. I just wanted to take this time to say thank you to the teachers of Jefferson County Schools. I appreciate everything that you do and how the commitment and dedication that you give every day that you come to service our children and to service our families. Thank you for your compassion. Thank you for your relationships that you have formed with our children. And thank you for ensuring that our children are achieving and learning. You are our boots on the ground, and without you, we would not be as successful as we are. And just know that you're loved and you're appreciated by not only your students, your coworkers, the families you serve, but by me. Thank you for everything that you do.
Oh, there's a base hit right up the middle over Brody Black's head. She got it, but a little bit under. No, that's gone.
1-1 tie, bottom of the 17th. Tanner Vaughn throws, ground ball, left field, Combs, ball game.
The Jeff Coed Secondary Teacher of the Year.
Handoff to Johnson. He's got a big hole. He could be gone. Johnson, you're not catching him. He's going to the mall.
The 2025 National Superintendent of the Year is from Alabama.
Take a look at Mcadory. They are talking with their head coach and your good friend, Trey Cranford, cheerleaders. It is halftime here, and Mcadory is leading the Wildcats of homestanding Fultondale by a score of 6-0. What's going on in our area? What's going on with all the other Jeffco teams in because it's playoff time. It's time to decide them anyway.
It is. This is like that time of year where it's always fun to try to break down everything that's going on. You've seen teams clinch the playoffs over the last couple of weeks, but this is, for the most part, a lot of teams' last games in region play, certainly around Jefferson County. We got a loaded slate of games this week. Several on Thursday, actually, as including our game tomorrow night. Corner at Carver. I want to start there because that one can be one of our more complicated games. Corner can still clinch a region with a win and a Ramsey loss to Winona. Not maybe expected, but not out of the realm of possibility. But Corner can also lose tomorrow night, and with a Ramsey and Briarwood win, they would finish fourth in the region. So there's a lot on the line for Corner tomorrow night. If Corner, Ramsey, and Briarwood all win tomorrow, it'll come down to non-region victories, which Corner actually very, very much has in hand. So there's a decent chance Corner can clinch with a win, and again, the Ramsey loss because if they tie with Briarwood, they have that tiebreaker. So Pinson Valley eliminated. Clay Chalkville has clinched that region, and they will be a 1 seed. They're trying to finish off the regular season unbeaten. Oak Grove hosting Fairfield. Oak Grove, another team that is going
We saw them earlier this year. I was very impressed with them.
They beat Bibb County. They took control of that region.
They'd never beaten them, neither.
And then they lost to ACA last week in a shootout. And that was a wild game, and now you get to the point where Oak Grove, Bibb County, and ACA are still kind of all on top of each other, can all still clinch the region. Oak Grove can actually still be out as well if they lose that game to Fairfield. Pleasant Grove actually already in because they would have the clinching scenario based off if the tiebreakers that would push
4
Oak
and
Grove
4
out.
Huh.
They're 4 and 2 in region play, so there are several scenarios where Oak Grove and Pleasant Grove both get into the playoffs, but there are also some where Pleasant Grove can be all the way as high as a 2 seed, and Oak Grove gets knocked out of the playoffs. So there's still a lot to go in that region as well, a lot on the line. Bessemer City, Mcadory, that's the game we'll be at. That's pretty straightforward. The winner of that game gets the 2 seed. The loser of that game gets the 3 seed. That makes a big difference and you want that home game in the first round of the playoffs. Central and Hueytown. Hueytown 5-3, and they're a region champion. They will play Pelham in the first round of the playoffs. They'll host Pelham. That's already decided. Central, a very, very good team though. That should be a pretty good game tomorrow night. Central is a 4 seed in that region. I don't think many region champions will want to face that Central Tuscaloosa team, at least from what we saw.
Yeah.
Fultondale sitting there at 3 and 4. That's a simple scenario as well. Winner gets into the playoffs in that game. Fultondale and Curry.
Okay.
Winner will travel to Anniston for the first round of the postseason. So that's something. Fultondale trying to get into the playoffs. A big one for the Wildcats high school team tomorrow night as we deal with their middle school team. And then obviously Friday Night Lights, we still have several games over there. Minor still trying. They can still get into the postseason, but they have a tough task ahead of them. They can
Homewood, didn't Homewood knock off Parker last week?
Homewood beat Parker by 7 last week to clinch that region. Parker is in second. It's the 3 and the 4 that is still up in the air, and that's between Minor, Mortimer Jordan, and Woodlawn, and Jackson Olin. So you see that there's several ways that region can shake out, but Minor knows they need to win to have a chance, and then they would need Mortimer Jordan to lose to Jackson Olin. Mortimer Jordan, in the meantime, can clinch with a win, and a Woodlawn loss to Parker would put Mortimer Jordan at the 3 seed. So that region that should be a fun one to keep an eye on tomorrow night.
Well, what you're telling me is all critical over the next couple of days.
It is, and this is the fun. I promise you, I did this in high school. When I was at Pelham, we had a weird region tiebreaker my senior year, and I would sit there and just wait, and I'd be breaking down all the regions. I've been
collect
doing this
all
for a
the
while.
data.
I would collect all. So this is what I live for these last couple of weeks.
I could tell you got
play.
pretty jacked up when you were excited about it. And by the way, nice homework. Do not test me in the morning, okay?
We'll go back over it tomorrow night.
Okay. I will tell you this, though. You notice Thursday night and Friday night games, okay? A lot of games have been moved from Friday to Thursday night because the kids are out on Friday, okay? But get ready for a repeat because next week, with Friday night being Halloween, we'll be playing on Thursday in order to let Caleb and his friends go trick-or-treat. What are you dressed as?
Oh, I don't have one yet. I need
You
one.
don't?
I need to figure it out. I don't know. I haven't had a good one in a couple of years, so I need to find something good. Maybe I'll go as Matt Coulter.
Well, that would be like old man boring costume. I have many in my closet. All right, with that, let's take a break. We'll be back the second half here on Jeff Coed TV.
Certainly we need more drivers, but we need folks more than that who want to make a difference.
It's the best job in the world. Bus drivers are doing a tremendous job in receiving kids each day with a smile, sending them home each day with a smile, making a difference in their lives.
Most bus drivers are there to invest in the children as well as to gain an investment for themselves. We're excited that you're interested in being a bus driver trainer. The potential is great about changing lives.
There's a look at the big Wildcat logo in the middle of the field here. Wildcat Stadium, the campus of Fultondale High School, Jeffco Ed TV. Mcadory's leading this championship game. This is a middle school championship game. Both teams coming in 6-1. We have noted they met at the beginning of the year, and Mcadory won it on the very last play, a pass to the back of the end zone. So Fultondale wants the championship. In addition to that, they'd like to get back at Mcadory for the loss they suffered earlier in the year. It's hard to believe, but then again, you think about it, you look at the calendar, basketball season's here, just a few weeks away. Join us for Jeffco Ed Basketball Media Day next Wednesday, October 29th. We'll be talking to boys and girls and the high school coaches about the upcoming season. Coverage starts at 9 o'clock on Jeffco Ed TV.
It was at SEC Basketball Media Days. It was that last week, and it's like every year it feels like it sneaks up on you a little bit, and then once it starts, it just gets to full force very, very quickly.
Did you get anything that used to in my day when I was going every year? We had more colorful coaches in the Southeastern Conference than you could possibly imagine. They're not that way anymore. Bruce Pearl, I'm sorry to see him go because he had some flash to him.
I mean, Calipari's there. He'll always talk. He called out someone got passed up on a question, and they kind of had a look on their face. Calipari said, "We're going to give him a question because he got mad. He got passed up on." I was like, "That's Coach Cal for you." And there's still a few guys around who will do that. It has to be the right setting and the right question, the right topic. Maybe not like the old days where every answer was a little bit more colorful. But
back when you had Wimp and Sonny and Dale Brown.
I did talk to Wimp last week when he was there. So I don't know about our Jeffco coaches. Maybe they might be a little more colorful too.
Chris Osborne has a coach. Go ahead, Chris.
Coach White, Coach, you're only down 6, 1 touchdown. What'd you tell your team in the locker room?
In the locker room, we just got to come out and fix our mistakes. It's that simple. Right now, defense is playing pretty hard. Offense, we got to get going right here. So just fixing our mistakes and making a big play. Somebody got to step up and make a big play. We had a couple chances to make a play, and we didn't. So right now, it's just about making that play. Who wanted more right here?
All right, Coach, good luck to you. I'll let you get back to your team.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, you heard it from the coach. Back up to you.
Thank you, Chris. And one of the things that and one of the main things they could do is just stop the little bitty mistakes, the offsides and the procedure penalties.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that might be setting them back a little bit, but you got to say they have 24 offensive plays. They're moving the ball. They just got to finish, and that's what he's talking about.
Going to the Mcadory sideline. Here's Christina.
Over here on the Mcadory sideline, head coach James at Cranford told his team, hey guys, you had a pretty decent first half, but you need to go out there with the same energy and fight for every play. We've been in this championship 3 out of the last 4 years. He says, you know what to do. And he said, the new guys, those 7th graders, they're leaning on the 8th graders. He said, let's go play a hard second half and try to win that championship.
Thank you, Christina. Mcadory in white there with the gold trim. They won the toss and deferred. So they're going to get the football, owning a 6-0 lead. But like Coach White just said, you're one big play. You're one big explosive play from tying it up and perhaps taking the lead. The same situation, extending the lead for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, Fultondale being able to get that stop on Mcadory's second drive, forcing the punting situation. That was big because they knew they were going to have to give the ball back here, and you got to have some confidence in your defense. I think go out and get a stop because really the only explosive play making ability that we have really seen so far has come from Demetrius Jackson for Mcadory's offense. Now you're about to give him a chance to get the ball back with fresh legs as well, and we saw what he did on 2 plays on fresh legs early in the game. So this is going to be a big possession for Fultondale's defense.
She and your family? She's dancing around. Can you make moves like that? Rodriguez Sharp for Fultondale will tee it up. Boots it high in the air. And it is fair caught and covered up at the 38-yard line. With the football, Jamarian Morris covered it up. Wide receiver with some game, but we have not heard from him. Trey Cranford told me last night he can break one. He may be one of those players we did have one big play, a 51-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I would expect that we see at least one touch, a couple of touches from Demetrius Jackson early on in this second half after seeing what he did on that drive. Obviously, he's been playing a lot of defense, and you have to think that's why he might not have been fed right away on their second and third drives. Jackson Graham is back in there taking snaps, though, so that's a good sign.
Okay, so the last two series they had, maybe a little experimentation. Maybe he was banged up for a little bit and got well at halftime. Nonetheless, they have the ball at the 32-yard line. Graham, hands off, and now they throw. Deep, 40, 30, 20, 10. Into the end zone goes, I just spoke of him, Morris. I told you he could make an explosive play. That was told to me by Trey Cranford, and sure enough, he did. 60-plus yards for the touchdown.
That is a clever trick play that you don't see very often anymore. And it's because you see defensive line get pushes a lot more quickly at high school and college level. But you use a handoff instead of a throwback or a double pass. You use that handoff, and people don't expect you to pull back and pass because it's not a pitch. You can hand the ball forward, and it doesn't make it two forward passes. It's a completely legal play that people don't really recognize as quickly as maybe those double passes or the pitch back. And being able to make the throw and catch as easy as it was meant to be.
Jackson fumbles it out of the shotgun. It'll be covered up, so nobody's made a point after in this case. Mcadory scored 2 touchdowns, but it failed on point afters. But they lead it now by 2 scores. It is 12-0.
And being able to do that right out of the half, I think, is another thing. You have all the things you just talked about in the locker room and what you wanted your defense to focus on. And they don't even have time to focus on those things because there's all of a sudden a new look, a new play. And if I'm sure right now that huddle right there that you see on your screen, they're talking about, hey, don't worry about it. They got us. That play, there was a trick play. They got us. It happens. Lock back in because, hey, they scored, but they scored quick. There's pretty much still 2 full quarters of football
you're right.
left.
That took 11 seconds.
That's not a 6-minute drive that feels demoralizing. That's one play. You got nearly 16 minutes of football left, and you're going to get 2 more possessions. So you need your defensive unit to still be able to say, hey, they got us 1 play, move on, stay focused on what you were supposed to be focused on coming out of the locker room, and hope that you can turn this thing around.
That was a look at number 8 for Fultondale, D'Angelo Hudson, who is explosive. He is the up back on the far sideline. Yes. Teeing up the football again is Yency Castro Rodriguez. That may be a different guy for point afters as opposed to the guy that's kicking it off because this is blue shoe, red shoe. That kick's just screamed out of bounds. There'll be a flag. Yeah, it went out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, so taking the penalty will get them a yard.
Well, I think it goes to the 40.
Okay.
I might be wrong. They're marking it right there at the 36, where I guess he's saying.
Okay, it may have gone out there. So obviously you wouldn't take it at the 35. Fultondale has moved the football, and I won't say with relative ease, but they've moved it a couple of times down, if not in the red zone, just outside the red zone. They just haven't been able to give you points. However, doesn't that give them the confidence, hey, we know what we can do. Let's just punch it in when we get down in the red zone.
Yeah, and again, you're talking about how move the ball up.
Yeah, they give them a 5-yard penalty
from after where it goes out. Yeah.
I can deal with that.
But you're right. I mean, Fultondale has moved the ball. They've gotten to the 26, the 25, and then they did have to punt there right before the half.
Wizenant, pocket guy, looks one way. Now he's on the run. He lost far boundary. It is intercepted by Mcadory. Mcadory has picked off the ball.
That's the first time we've really seen Wizenant force the ball just under throws, and that's a terrific interception. We've seen a lot of these throws bounce off people's hands, fall to the wayside, and he dove and secured that thing going to the ground, never touched the ground, the ball never came loose, and you can see how his team is reacting right now. They are excited. That is a play that could seriously secure this game. They have Mcadory in complete control right now.
Christina's on the sideline. What you got?
Well, guys, Quincy Strickland, who just intercepted that ball, is just in the 7th grade. Coach told me before the game that he didn't even start the first 4 games. He was on the B team. He said they had a B team scrimmage, and that's when he really proved to himself that he deserved to be out on the field. That's when Coach made a switch, and he's been out there ever since week 4. Him coming up huge with that big interception here in the 3rd quarter.
Mcadory's trying to flip it now, perhaps put this game away, but as you can see, our clock in the 3rd quarter, still plenty of time left in this football game. However, big-time play defensively by the Wildcats as they just stacked Demetrius Jackson up in the backfield for a loss of 3, and now Mcadory's making a few mistakes at the line of scrimmage. At least that's what I saw. Caleb?
Well, we have on this side, there was an offsides call. Boy, I think they might have.
Against Fultondale.
I think Fultondale moved first, and I think that might be what the refs are saying. Obviously, the tight end on Mcadory did jump as well. But
Jalen Clark, jersey 3, is a tight end listed.
Penalty number 7.
What is this? There's an I formation, ladies and gentlemen. And there you got it. Jackson's on the run. He's not going to get the kind of yardage he was used to in the first half as he is hit hard by Jamel Alcorn.
Yeah, I understand. You've heard Coach Cranford talk about this, is that they want to be run first. They want to be power football, block and tackle, load the box, and just go get yards. But from what we've seen from Demetrius Jackson, you kind of feel like if they spread it out, give him space to run, he might be more effective. I mean, that's the second time we've seen a handoff from under center, and he got 3 yards on that one, lost 3 yards on the first one. This one's a little bit more spread out. I think you might see the same play call, it's just in different formations.
Joe Webb checked in for Jackson. Some more notes on number 3 for Mcadory in just a second. 2 running backs handed off the guy on the right side. That is Isaiah Lee, and he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Number 3 for Mcadory is Joe Webb. And I'm talking to your buddy Trey Cranford last night, and I said, is there any chance he's kin to the Joe Webb from UAB in the NFL? He said, yes, as a matter of fact. That's his son. For those that don't remember, Joe Webb's Conference USA Offensive Player of the Year with UAB. Then he went on to get this 11 years in the National Football League. He played for numerous teams. And after this snap, I'll tell you what record he has in the NFL that may never be topped. But I guess I can tell you now, as we got a timeout in play, he has the most tackles of any quarterback in the National Football League.
Yeah, that's not a great sign. But
no, because it usually means you're the one. But he played a lot of special teams. He was a quarterback, he was a wide receiver, he was a kick returner. We'll take a break, discuss more, and continue the middle school championship game here on Jeff Coed TV.
Certainly we need more drivers, but we need folks more than that who want to make a difference.
It's the best job in the world. Bus drivers are doing a tremendous job in receiving kids each day with a smile, sending them home each day with a smile, making a difference in their lives.
Most bus drivers are there to invest in the children as well as to gain an investment for themselves. We're excited that you're interested in being a bus driver trainer. The potential is great about changing lives.
Quickly, back to action here at Fultondale. They're trailing 12 against Mcadory, their own 26-yard line. Inside handoff, that's McGee again as they're going to try and get the running back going.
It's a big stop for Fultondale's defense. Obviously, you could have seen that getting out of hand after a big, the first 2 snaps of the second half were a trick play for a touchdown and an interception. So Mcadory really could have taken control. Fultondale's defense locked in, stopped the run, giving their guys a chance to get some points on the board and make this a ball game again.
Wizenant will take the snap once again, a little low, scoops it up, runs up into the pocket. Now he lofts deep and incomplete at the 45-yard line. Nobody really there offensively or defensively. You know, when you're running towards the line of scrimmage, you got to take a little off of it. And that is a pass that you develop. You're not born with it.
And we've seen a lot of good things from him, and honestly not a bad idea to make the throw, as I don't think he had that much running space. I don't know if he was going to be able to pick up a first down or anything. He saw man coverage across the middle and just floated it a little too much.
Third, and the Wildcats need 5. Back to pass. Throws over the middle. Nice catch at the 43-yard line. Climbing the ladder was D'Angelo Hudson. Watch again.
I mean, that is a good-looking throw and catch. Get both hands on it. Bring it into your body. Don't wait for it to come to you. Catch with your hands. A great catch. Again, 2 names to remember if you're Wildcat fans. These 2 guys will be on that high school team and be making plays. I am certain of it.
And we've been talking about Hudson, just a 7th grader, or so is Wizenant. They're the 2 guys I think that are most likely to break this thing and get the Wildcats back open. Plenty of time. He throws over the middle, almost intercepted at the 35-yard line in coverage.
It looked like a little bit of a scissors route from the 2 guys on the near sideline, and I think Carson Osborne, number 3, was actually the one that was more open, closer to the sideline. Defense flocked to D'Angelo Hudson for good reason. It might be a throw that Wizenant wants back a little bit. If you can make that read again, just wait a half second, you'll see a receiver a little more open.
I believe Jordan Lacey dropped back in coverage from his linebacker slot. You see him right in the middle of your screen. Wizenant back to pass. He is under pressure. He escapes. He's still on the run. Now he throws. That pass could have been intercepted again by Quincy Strickland.
That's a good play. I saw the receiver break open across the middle of the field as well. Strickland being able to come across from his position on the far sideline to break up that pass. Could have been a big play for the Wildcats.
Chris Osborne, what you got?
Hey, guys, I can tell you that, watching some of these receivers, guys, they've got to look for the second chances. These balls are getting bobbled around, tipped, whatnot. A good receiver is always going to try to help his quarterback come back and maybe catch a bobbled ball for lots of yardage. Back to you guys.
4 receivers in the formation. Wizenant take it out of the shotgun snap. Back to pass. Pick up the blitz. They throw. That is complete. Well, no, it was dropped. You don't see Hudson do that very often. That was, Caleb, that was a very catchable ball.
Yeah, you can tell he's frustrated with himself. You're going to see his head turn forward without securing it, thinking that he was about to get hit or look for extra yards, took his eyes off the ball. And that made the difference. Secure the catch because he had the first down. You had enough yards already. Secure the catch and then worry about it. What's in front of you after you're back on the ground?
Well, what they coach and what they teach you and what I say, not that I ever practiced it, but, you're going to get hit whether you catch it or not. So haul it in as we've got a stoppage in play at the 3:13 mark. Is a 2025 middle school football championship. Mcadory leading 12-0. Fultondale has yet to get on the board. Remember, when these 2 teams played to kick off the season, it was a 26-22 game. So for Fultondale to not be putting any points on the board through almost 3 quarters is, I'm sure, a little bit puzzling to head coach Curtis White. Hey, tomorrow we'll be at it again, the entire crew. High school football game of the week. 6-1 against 6-1, isn't that right? 1-loss teams both. Bessemer City and Mcadory. That's a huge game, and you can watch it live right here on Jeffco Ed TV. We go on at 6:35. Kickoff will be a little after 7 o'clock. There's the Tigers and the Yellow Jackets. So we got Mcadory back-to-back, middle school and high school.
Sure, at this point, Mcadory fans wouldn't mind tomorrow night's game going roughly the same as tonight's has gone so far.
Yep.
Big 4th down now for Fultondale, and you don't want to say be completely desperate, but you also understand that, you know, Mcadory gets the ball back and score again, or even 3 more minutes go off the clock, you'll be in trouble. So
Hudson in motion, now in the slot. They need 10. Back to pass. Pretty spiral. It is not hauled in at the 37-yard line and perhaps should have been. Defense there by Jackson, who plays both ways and does so very well.
Yeah, not a bad ball, but pretty good coverage. Maybe some of the better coverage we've seen so far. And perfect timing to get your hands up. And a good hit just to make sure that the receiver doesn't pull that one in. It's been a tough second half for Mekhi Wisenhat. Well, he was 8 for 14 in the first half, just 1 for 7 in the second half, including that interception. So good adjustments made by Mcadory's defense.
Demetrius Jackson, we got a flag somewhere in the middle of a timeout. Demetrius Jackson, who broke up that play, started the scoring for the Yellow Jackets with a 51-yard touchdown back in the first quarter.
I think that flag's just going to end up being a sideline warning. They wanted to get Coach White closer to the sideline. I don't think he wanted an explanation. He was asking the head referee. Flag flies. I think it's just going to be a sideline warning without any yards being marked off. I'd be surprised if they gave 15 yards, but it looks like they are.
They're going to march it off. And you hear the boos from the Wildcats fan. And he explained it to Curtis White. He's not happy, but
again,
must have been something away.
Did we miss a sideline warning in the first half? That was only the first one.
But maybe it was trash talking or something. And then, but during the
timeout, it wasn't
timeout,
unsportsmanlike conduct. It wasn't a personal foul. It was a sideline warning. And again, it wasn't a 15-yard penalty. For some reason, it was a 13-yard penalty. But that's not a thing.
All right, Mcadory with the football. Inside handoff. That's the tank. Living up to his nickname. He gets 8 down to the Fultondale 22-yard line.
Yeah, this is once you get a little bit closer, you know you're not punting the ball. This is where you can rely on the tank. Let him run between the tackles. You want to tick off time. You're close enough where you feel like you can score. This is the drive Mcadory wants to put this game away. Already have one hand on that trophy.
Up front, you've got Kelvin Williams, Bryson Wilson, Carday Washington, Jacob Lewis is over the ball. Michael Kennedy is your right tackle. The big guys that don't get credit, at least I can get your name on. They fake it to Tank, throw across the middle, wide open, and headed into the end zone for a touchdown. Well, that is complete to number 9. I got to check my roster here. He is not a starter. Boy, good play fake, wasn't it?
I think that might be Jackson Graham's best play of the night, because with the way he pulled that ball, I think that was a legitimate run-pass option. I think they left that up to Jackson Graham, a middle school quarterback, to make that decision, and he made the right call. Saw a wide open man across the middle.
Right up the middle, 2-point conversion, as Mcadory has now taken a 20-0 lead in the waning moments of the third quarter. Boy, that was a big hole. Tank just busted through. Tank is Brandon Burrows. As I said in the first half, there's a reason they call that man right there Tank. 5'8", 193. Chris Osborne has more information on the Fultondale sideline.
So, guys, I just talked to the referee. He said that last call was unsportsmanlike conduct on the coach because he ran onto the field. Obviously, that was a pivotal penalty that resulted in a touchdown, so to speak, for Mcadory. So, not a lot of time left for Fultondale to get it together. But, certainly 20 is not insurmountable. Back to you guys.
It isn't. But Fultondale, having moved the football, just can't get points out of it. By the way, the touchdown pass from Mcadory was one of their backup wide receivers. That was Ryan Washington. And he was very open, by the way.
Came off the line of scrimmage from tight end position, kind of leaked out. linebackers were so locked in on the run that they just left him wide open, and Jackson Graham spotted him across the middle.
So, Fultondale will get the ball back. First, the kickoff from the Yellow Jackets. Boy, that's a quick low kick. It's picked up by Hudson, and he can dance and he can fly. He's not doing either. I see a smash down to the 18-yard line. D'Angelo Hudson down. And inside the 20, it's a long way to go. We got a flag.
Yeah, I think you're going to get 15 yards on that extra hit that was given a little bit after the whistle.
Personal foul. Face mask. So there's a break for Fultondale. So they will not be starting inside their 20. Flag back in the pocket. That will move the line of scrimmage now out to the 34-yard line. What do you think? And you got to get Hudson involved, keep him involved. Carson Osborne is number 3. He's a wide out. Hadn't heard a lot from the running back, Derek McGee. So combination of those players with starting quarterback Mekhi Wisenant.
And I don't think you probably will be hearing much from Derek McGee unless it's in the passing game. You're down 3 scores, just over 10 minutes total to go in this game. I mean, you have a quarterback that can throw the ball and get you back into this game. You got to start making some catches, forcing some throws down the field.
Circle in motion. Instead, they go right up the gut. That was McGee. He got a couple. Quickly, Wisenhunt, the 7th grader, looking to the sideline at 1:50 remaining in the third quarter.
I think they're trying to run it between the tackles, but you see the size Mcadory has. I think it's Curtis Washington. Obviously, we talked about Tank. He plays middle linebacker. They can fill those holes quickly. That's what's limiting these gains in the run.
They want to go deep. Incomplete about the 40-yard line contact, but I believe it was between 2 Yellow Jackets.
And that's what's made this Mcadory defense so successful tonight is being able to stop the run in between the tackles. They've still made sure to keep 2 safeties back, not being able to get beat deep. As we saw a lot of open passes for Fultondale on that first drive that just didn't work out. There were guys running down the seams and being open, but they weren't able to connect. And now that Mcadory safe lead, they feel like being able to drop 2 safeties deep, play man coverage on everybody else, and keep their linebackers in the middle to stop the run. They're in good shape right now.
You see 3 Wildcats wide to the bottom of your screen. Wisenant takes the snap, steps up in the pocket. He is under pressure. That pass is floated out into the flat. Hudson at the 40. Huge block. You heard the crowd as Hudson will get close to first down yardage. We got a player that's very slow to get up. Let's watch the replay here.
Yeah, pretty obvious especially when you hear a crowd reaction like that. You know this is a blindside block. You can't do that. It's a good penalty in the game now.
And did they
keep
call
the game
it?
safer? I mean, I know we're playing football. How safe can it be? But that is the kind of hit that you take out of football. You flag it every time. You have to do it, and you have to be smarter in that. You don't have to throw the block. Stand in his way. He's going to run into you and miss the tackle. That is how you make that block. It's a teaching moment. I know you can hear Fultondale sideline not happy about it. You want your guys to be able to hit. It's football, but that is an easy call.
Do you remember when that wasn't even close to being a call?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, if you're on the field, you just knock knock anybody down
especially
you want
for blocking, yeah.
But that's behind the play and away from the ball, and
the
a good
reason
call.
You have to call it even at the middle school level. Like, yeah, it's a big block, but if you keep that in the game and you don't teach players that that's a flag, high school level, that gets even more dangerous. They're running faster and they're stronger.
Yep.
College level, it gets, life safety
You know,
dangerous.
I think part of the reason that rule is enforced is what defensive guys on a turnover would just clean quarterbacks' clocks. Wisenant. It is 3rd and 20. He throws quickly, and it is closer to being intercepted than anything. I believe is that Quincy Strickland? That's 7th graders everywhere.
You're asking your Fultondale players to be in a tough spot right now, and Yeah, obviously it's hard to recover mentally when you're down 3 touchdowns this late in the game. Everything seems to be going wrong in the second half. And now you're starting to hear from the Mcadory sideline on the other side after forcing a punt.
There you see him. It'll be 30 yards back to the 46-yard line. And Jackets will have the lead and a 20-point lead. They'll have the ball and the lead.
Hey, heard from the crowd someone say we need a turnover, and that is what Fultondale needs right now. But if I'm Mcadory, I'm thinking, why do I throw it? Of course, I was thinking that on the last drive, and they threw a 26-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I'm thinking tank, and a lot of tank. And you see him there with a pink sock on just his left leg. That is Brandon Burrows. Actually, it's the second man through. Breaking outside is Jackson. But a host of Wildcats are there to stop him after perhaps a 1-yard gain.
You think of using Tank to wear down the defense, but I think he makes just as big of an impact being the lead blocker for Demetrius Jackson.
Good point. Well, you mentioned a minute ago, he is a running back / fullback, I would call him. But he's also a linebacker. So he can take a hit and give a hit.
And he might not have the stat line to show for it. Got a 2-point conversion, right? And he's got several tackles, but feels like his impact on this game has been maybe the biggest of any individual on Mcadory's team.
And that is the end of the third quarter of play, which was absolutely owned by Mcadory as they put up 14 points to take a 20-0 lead, as we will start the fourth quarter in just a moment on Jeffco Ed TV.
Hello, Jeff Coed family. I'm Dr. Beth Miller, Director of Child Nutrition. This school year, we are thrilled to offer free breakfast and lunch at no cost to all students enrolled in in-person learning. As a community eligibility provision district, we encourage all families to take advantage of this opportunity. Our child nutrition program is devoted to providing healthy and nutritious meals to help fuel our students for a day of learning and growth. From crispy Crispitos to fruits and vegetables, it will all be available for free. If a student would like an extra item, those may be purchased. Again, we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity so we can continue to provide in future years.
Hey, Matt Coulter, along with Caleb Turntine, Chris Osborne. Christina is on the sideline as well. She's handling the duties for Mcadory. This sideline, it's Chris. Great job being done by them tonight.
We're almost at that point where being on the sideline is going to get a little too cold for some. You got to have those big jackets and some gloves.
Did you open that window?
I think it was good.
All right, it is second down and 9. Trying to run the sweep unsuccessfully. Drop for a loss is Jordan Lacey. Well, he's going to lose a bunch. That play never got off the ground, did it?
Yeah, they've tried that sweep a couple of times, and I think they had one that went for maybe like 20, 30 yards, but that was because he broke 3 or 4 tackles in the backfield. Fultondale's been able to read that sweep pretty well.
There's a stoppage in play. What is that? They're backing up Mcadory. This kind of break that Fultondale needs. They're trailing 3 touchdowns. It's unsportsmanlike conduct. And it'll bring them back to 26-yard line, where it is first and Gardendale. Referee picking up the flag, walking to the line of scrimmage. He's making his notes. 7:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. This is the middle school championship game. 2 fine teams, but right now 3 quarters have belonged to the Yellow Jackets. On the roll and being dropped back at the 16-yard line. Another play that didn't seem to get off the ground at all. I guess it was Jackson Graham, a quarterback keeper.
And it was Alcorn again. I think they were looking to throw it.
Alcorn, good player. He's one of those guys that dresses for high school.
Yeah, and I expect he'll be playing maybe not Friday night this year as they're trying to clinch playoff spot this week, but he'll be getting plenty of snaps by next season.
The guy that plays to his inside along the defensive front, number 22, Keldrick Williams, is also one of those guys Coach White told me he'll be dressing out on Friday night. And we got a stoppage in play as both teams will go to their respective sidelines. Mcadory leads it 20-0.
This will be a punt that doesn't even make it to the first down marker. So it was fourth and about 40.
It was fourth and, yep. So, and I'm not sure it makes it to midfield. So, Mcadory put it in reverse and floored it. Maybe this is good news for the Wildcats.
Easily their best field position of the night.
Yeah,
but
they
still,
are.
Down 3 touchdowns, you got to score in a hurry. I know it's all about that first one, right? You got to score the first one for it to matter.
Yeah, ball's at the Mcadory 49-yard line. Wisnant, 20-plus touchdowns through 7 games, none tonight. He looks left. He wants to throw across the middle. He's got his man wide open, and Zion Hunt can't hang on to it. He's had a few drops, unfortunately, by his wide receivers and a couple here the second half.
Yeah, I think it almost feels like it's mental, right, at this point. That's a lot of drops for a team that has clearly had success throwing the ball this season behind Wisnant. You get down on yourself, then you drop the ball, you get more down on yourself. It's hard to recover from, especially at this point in a game like this.
First, second, and 10 following the incompletion. Back to pass, throws far sideline. Hudson out of bounds, got 6. You keep a nice running total. How many catches did 8 have?
That's just his 4th catch.
Wow, he seems to have been more involved. Now he's got a couple of carries, doesn't he?
Several carries.
Okay.
Closing in on 100 all-purpose yards.
He's been a bright spot for the guys in dark blue and orange. Wisnant under pressure. He throws. That pass is tipped in the air and incomplete. Intended for whom else but Hudson.
Took a couple of bounces over there. I thought sure it was going to bounce up and someone was going to find their hands on it. Hudson nearly kicked it up to himself there at the end.
Demetrius Jackson dropped back in coverage as linebacker slot. And 6:16 remaining in the 4th quarter. You're looking at the 7th grader, Makai Wisnant. Low snap. Boy, he just scooped that up naturally. Now he throws over the middle. That pass is complete to Carson Osborne. That'll be a first down. Wildcats moving the football, and they are right back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, keep it simple. A slant and secure the ball, then turn and brace for a hit.
3 to the bottom of the screen. Line of scrimmage, the 32-yard line. Wildcats rolling. He throws over the middle. Pass is tipped and almost caught by Osborne.
Yeah, tipped a couple of times there. I think by 2 different defenders, then off of Osborne's hand as well. And you don't mind that throw, I think, at this point in the game. You're going to be forcing some throws. You're going to be trying to get some yards if you're Wisnant. And so I think it's understandable. It's obviously something you look back at film and say, hey, this is a throw you might get away with right now, but not in every early in the first quarter or anything like that.
McGee is the lone running back. Wisnant was going to throw deep. That pass is incomplete, intended for Hudson. He had a shot, but it would have been a spectacular catch. He may be a little banged up.
Yeah, you can tell Hudson's just a little bit slower getting back to the line of scrimmage. You hope that's not more mental, but you know he's been involved a lot, run a lot of deep routes, taken some hits, gone to the ground a lot. He's got to be pretty tired after the game he's had.
Still in need of 10. It is third down. Wiznant is looking to White on the sideline. Your coach of the year, by the way, is Curtis White for Fultondale. Back to pass. He throws. Got a man open. That's Hudson at the 15. Spun around. Makes a couple of Yellow Jackets missed, and he goes out of bounds inside the 5. It'll be first and goal, Wildcats. Big time play.
He spun out of that, and I think I don't know if it was Zion Hunt over there. Maybe wasn't expecting him to get out of it. If he was ready to go, you can see him spin around almost his own teammate right there. If Hunt gets in front of him, he's able to throw that final block. Maybe a business decision there.
Well, I think so. Well, you know what he saw?
He didn't want to get hit by Tank.
He saw Tank.
He said, if I'm not going to make it to the end zone, you might as well stop the clock, get out of bounds.
So, Fultondale finally knocking on the door at the 5.5-minute mark of the football game. Hudson in motion. Wiznant looks towards Hudson, throws into the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Osborne.
Yeah, just a little low. He had him. I think it was a little low because he felt rushed. Defensive line got there quickly. Had pressure maybe a little bit more quickly than Wiznant was expecting.
That'll stop the clock. It'll be second and goal. Mcadory will lead 20-0. Fultondale is trying to mount a comeback at home in a championship game for middle school in Jefferson County. Timeout, Mcadory. Mcadory didn't like the way things were looking on second and goal, so we'll take a break on Jeffco Ed TV. Mcadory's timeout. Fultondale back to the line of scrimmage. It is second down and goal. Wildcats trying to erase the goose egg. Rolling, throwing, wide open to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. Eric Merriweather was wide open. I mean, wide open.
Yeah, Wiznant had a couple of options out there. You saw Hudson on the underneath. Maybe a safer throw was going over the top. Just enough float on it. Merriweather being able to secure the catch. You got to get it the first one before you can come back.
That's right.
You never know what it can do just to evoke for a little bit of belief.
They give it to the big end, the defensive end, Jamel Alcorn. He lines up in the Wildcat, and he puts 2 on the board, so it's 20-8. 5:21 remaining here in the fourth and final stanza. Important drive. Wildcats have new life.
I believe Fultondale still has all 3 of their timeouts. Mcadory's taken 2 in this second half, but I believe Fultondale has all 3 of theirs. So that gets you a possession. You don't really feel like you might need to come out and do any kind of onside kick or anything, but your defense just had maybe its best possession of the night. I mean, you saw Mcadory in a 4th and 40, and that, if you can get them back into that, I think you're feeling pretty good about it.
Got to give some credit to the guys in blue and orange there up front as they gave Alcorn a big hole. Joshua Muhammad Rodriguez Sharp, also the kicker. Anthony Peterson is over the ball for the guys in blue. Messiah Holly, Taj McGee. But it'll be the Fultondale defense that will take the field now following the kickoff. And Mcadory wants to run some clock. Al inside.
I think just kind of skipped out of bounds. You saw Hudson try to get his hands on it. It went through his legs, but it wouldn't have mattered. It didn't go 10 yards to get there. Onside kick is a hard thing to perfect, and sometimes there is no perfecting it. Sometimes you got to get a little bit lucky, and that ball more skipped than it did actually hop up into the air. Allow Mcadory to take over inside Fultondale territory.
Yep, should be at the 49, although the officials look like they want to move it.
Oh, with the 5-yard penalty earlier, kick out of bounds.
Yeah. So it'll be
the 44.
40. Yep. Good math, partner.
I can subtract 5. I'm pretty good at that. Football gets you good at 5, 10s, and 15s, and 7s.
The punts, you know, and keeping up with punts when it's at the 17 at one end and it goes to the 37 at the other end, you got to be able to do 50 minus and 50 plus in a hurry. All right, Graham, pretty much gone the distance for the Yellow Jackets. He hands off left side. Just trying to check and see if that's Jackson again. It's Demetrius Jackson on the carry. And all they're interested in, they want to get yardage. You know, 3 yards in a cloud of dust and run a lot of clock is exactly what Mcadory wants and needs to win this championship. By the way, they have been in this championship game 3 of the last 4 years. They were not in it last year. It was Minor and Irwin, and the Tenacious Tigers took it. But they are running some clock now, 4:40. There's the inside handoff. That's the tank. No, that's Jackson again.
Certainly his biggest run since that touchdown. And not just circumstantially, but also his biggest gain since that touchdown. He gets 9 yards, gets a first down, reset the down markers, and allow even more time to come off this clock for the Yellow Jackets.
Not in any hurry. Game clock, play clock's at 20. So Graham's going to look around a little bit as Tank is his running back. Brandon Burrows. Hey, they've got it down to 5 seconds. Graham, Tank up the middle, tries to run over the linebacker. Standing up was Anthony Crenshaw. So they'll get about 4 on first down.
Yeah, impressive job by Crenshaw. He definitely has less weight and certainly a few inches to give up there in that battle. And he stood him up. That's what you got to do. Wait for some help. Teammates came by and tackled him by committee.
Whoops, procedure. Didn't see a flag, but I'm seeing them mark it off. So you can do that 5 yards again for me and we'll figure it out. So it'll be 2nd down and 16. That's how it looks, but it's actually 2nd down and 15. It's a down marker. Should be first. All right. Yellow Jackets with the football at the Fultondale 40. Tank breaks it outside. Big man lumbering down to the 22-yard line. That's more than enough for first down.
And if you didn't already feel like it was in hand for Mcadory, that's the kind of run that makes you really feel like it. Again, resetting downs, more time coming off the clock, getting nearly into the red zone. I mean, at this point, even turnover on downs, Fultondale has to go the length of the field. I mean, you're thinking Fultondale's only chance is to force a fumble.
Hey, I've called a timeout to stop the clock. Now it's running again. Interesting. There's the inside handoff. That's Lee. He slashes down to the 15-yard line. A nice carry.
Just his second carry.
Isaiah Lee, number 1 in your program. Clock still running at 2.5-minute mark. Be second and a long 3. It wouldn't bother Mcadory if they went ahead and scored, but what they want to do is just see Father Time tick away. Jackson Graham, hands off, immediately met in the backfield. That is Jackson once again. You know, he's had some successful positive yard carries, but the Wildcats have dropped him for losses.
Yeah, a couple of times. That's total Fultondale 6 tackle for a loss in this game. And when Mcadory is still with way less offensive snaps than Fultondale. It's impressive. Fultondale getting a timeout. He signaled Mcadory, I believe it's Fultondale's.
Well,
wouldn't make sense for it to be a Mcadory timeout.
No, it wouldn't. 2:05 remaining. Mcadory leading 20-8 and looking to capture the 2025 Middle School Football Championship.
And the official just corrected it. It was a timeout by Fultondale.
Okay.
And they're trying to save them. I understand that because you think you need 2 more possessions, but you gotta give your guys some hope. 2 minutes left in this game. You're still down 2 scores. And Mcadory driving in a tough position.
It's hoops time. Basketball season. Join us for Jeffco Ed Basketball Media Day next Wednesday, October 29th. We'll be talking to boys, girls, and high schools about the upcoming season. 9 a.m. on Jeffco Ed TV. In a Wildcat formation, losing a couple on the carry. They may have snapped it directly to Jackson. No, it was Lacey, Jordan Lacey on the carry. He's had a few.
He's also been tackled for a loss on those sweep plays a couple of times.
Yeah. Another timeout, 1:59, obviously just under 2 minutes remaining. Using the timeouts to perhaps get the football back and perform what I would call pretty much a miracle at this point. And let's face it, Caleb, Mcadory, Fultondale came out, drove the ball to about the 25-yard line and couldn't cash in. But then on the third snap in Mcadory's scrimmage, from line of scrimmage, Jackson, 50-plus yards for the touchdown, and they've been in control since. Christina standing by with an update from the soon-to-be visitor sideline.
Well, guys, before that last play, running back and linebacker Demetrius Jackson went to the sideline. He was talking to his head coach about his right leg. He went over to the bench. So far, we don't see him on the field, and that'd be a huge loss for Mcadory on both sides of the ball.
No kidding. Here's an odd formation. The Yellow Jackets have 6 guys. 4 on the line. 2 are potential wide receivers. And I guess the guy nearest the down marker is eligible too. Oh, ball snapped over the head, and it is still loose. Finally recovered by quarterback Jackson Graham. If you wanted to give any fuel to the Wildcats, that was it. But it's a turnover on downs.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mind a different formation on 4th down. You don't think, like, you know, we're not just going to run it up the middle. You want to try something to gain 15 yards there. But snap over the head, that ball could have easily been picked up and got
score.
Back.
Yeah, that would have flipped it in a hurry.
Great job by Jackson Graham to be able to get his hands on that ball and keep it under him. I mean, yeah, you think he just lost 20 yards, but he made a big play just by keeping that ball under him, making sure Fultondale has to earn a couple more touchdowns on offense.
Yeah, I think a couple of Wildcats were thinking scoop and score.
They were, which is what you should be thinking
at
the moment. Don't fall
down 12, yeah. Well, now we've got a quick trick play by Fultondale. That's Hudson. He's weaving across the football. Now we got flags everywhere. Hudson's going to take it into the end zone. Nope, just short at the 1 yard line. Shoestring tackle and a 60-yard play, but we got to check these flags.
I mean,
wow.
He was the only offensive player over there, so I'm thinking it had to be a face mask.
That's a quick snap of a play. I glanced down. Next thing I saw, 8 was on the sideline cutting back across the field. Now, they're still saying it's Fultondale's football. Fultondale thinks so. Wow. What a flip of the coin this could be.
That was roughly 15 seconds that just ran off the clock as well.
Well, that needs to be adjusted.
They added 26, so
I think they won on
there's no
that.
complaints there.
No. But it is 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. Hudson almost took it in the end zone. Here's Chris Osborne.
Hey, guys, I can tell you, it looked a lot, it resembled, I should say, a lot like that Oklahoma play against Auburn. That receiver was on the sideline. I didn't see anybody close to him. He ran that straight fly pattern, and you saw the end result of that. So we'll see. Apparently it's going to stand, but really a lot of excitement on the sideline. Back to you guys.
It looks like everybody's coming back to the original line of scrimmage, and then there may be a penalty added onto that. And now Fultondale wants to call a timeout because they restarted the clock. No, they didn't.
The flag comes back, or brings the play back for a sideline warning. There must have been contact with an official down here with a coach, and that's what made that play have to come all the way back. Because, again, as we said earlier, that one is their second sideline warning.
Curtis White discussing it with the officials, trying to make his point, which I'm going to guess here. He's probably not gonna. He's gonna lose that one.
And I think he's. I don't know. I mean, we didn't see a collision, but I did see 2 flags come out.
Yeah, me too.
So the back judge saw it, and the referee on the sideline threw his flag. So this wasn't just one ref feeling like he was impeded. Another official saw it happen, and they both threw the flags at the same time. It had to have happened roughly around the 40-yard line, more or less. Right around the time.
What a costly penalty.
He caught the ball. That's a 58-yard gain.
Yeah.
Set up for
first
a
and
score.
goal at the 1.
I mean, look, you're still looking at a game that would still have to come down to an onside kick. It's not like it.
Well, and I think Fultondale's out of timeouts too.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a win or loss flag, but that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Fultondale. You finally have an explosive play and you see a flag like that come out.
Man,
on your sideline, not something that feels like it's a part of the game.
That's something Curtis White can really argue because he's on the sideline. And I tell you what, he's being very, very patient with his arms kind of crossed in front of him. He's not yelling, screaming, turning his hat around.
And I think you see another coach getting involved with the discussion. It makes me think that that's the coach the flag came out on.
Maybe we can take another look and see if we can see a violent. Okay.
I don't think we saw it. Being on the near side, if it was on the far sideline, we probably have a better shot of seeing it. Being on the near sideline, the play ended up going away from us.
Yeah, that's the coach that you see to the left of your screen in orange. I would guess he's the one that was flagged.
He's trying to make his case, and
wow,
we didn't see what happened.
Very unfortunate for the Wildcats in a game that not a whole lot. Now they're going to tack on a 10. Let's make 15.
It's a 15-yard penalty for the sideline infraction.
Once you've
from
been
the
warned.
Previous spot, it's not just taking out 58 yards. It's a 15-yard penalty on top of it.
So that's a 75-yard penalty.
Yeah,
close to it.
You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. Well, maybe Fultondale has another trick in the hat.
And the hard part about middle school, high school football, you don't have a ref come over a mic and tell you what happened.
Well,
fans in the stands probably just as confused as we are with what we saw.
Back to pass. Wisenant wants to throw deep. Incomplete at the 35-yard line. Osborne was in the area as the intended receiver.
You can just kind of feel energy go out of this place. Almost
Mcadory
sideline, too. Everyone's just kind of trying to figure out what happened, why it happened. But certainly Fultondale, I mean, it just kind of accumulated all the frustration of the night into one play. where not just you have a big play and you get stopped before the end zone. That's been happening all night. A flag set them back. That's been happening all night. Frustration from coaches on the sideline with the officials. That's been happening all night. And it all came together in one play.
4 wideouts in the formation, out of the gun, stepping up, Wisnat. He throws off his back foot, got a man open. Hauling it in is Zion Hunt. Nice little footwork there by Wisnat.
Yeah, great footwork to sidestep a rusher and be able to step into a throw. Nice little flick of the wrist. Clock running, though, because obviously a big gain, but it still wasn't a first down.
Yeah, huge game. Almost in midfield. The 48-yard line and a whistle. They have a 2nd down and 3. Chris Osborne has more from the Wildcat sideline.
Okay, guys, if you want to know what happened, I talked to a couple of different folks, including the high school coach, and what he said was that it was the receiver who checked down with the referee on the sideline. The referee said he was offsides, even though the play had not started, did not back him up, and then let the play go ahead, and of course the coach was livid, and that's where the unsportsmanlike came from.
Okay. Well, that's thank you for doing your job. And then after what appears to be a completion to Hudson, a flag, no, it's incomplete, but a flag goes down nonetheless. You see the official with the yellow marker in his left hand right there at the 40-yard line as they're going to talk this one over too. You know, that first quarter went by in about the blink of an eye. Since then, it's slowed down
2-hour middle game, certainly different from what we had last year. And it was almost identical score to last year's game.
Mcadory, as you see, in your graphic lower screen, as we call it, it's 20-8. Fultondale trying to get on the board, maybe a respect me TD. And, you know, it's crazier things have happened in this wonderful game of football. But right now, they're looking at a 2nd and 25. Line of scrimmage is a 38-yard line.
And that right there was their 5th unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the night.
And they've had several at the line of scrimmage, pre-snap fouls. Wisnat with a 3-man rush. He's got time. Stops, launches, throws. It is intercepted by Mcadory. Guess who? It is Quincy Strickland once again with his 2nd pick. What was it Christina was telling us earlier, that he wasn't even barely on the roster when they started the season?
And
I mentioned the depth chart.
And continue to make an impact and come out in a championship setting and probably have your biggest game of the season. A couple of big plays to secure this win in the second half. I mean, Mcadory was in control of the game. They were up 2 scores with his first touchdown, up 2 scores or interception, and up 2 scores with his 2nd interception. Big plays to help secure the win.
By a little guy. He is 5'2", 108.
That's just a defensive back build at middle school level, I think.
Yeah, but then you got guys, and I was looking at the roster, you were too, you got guys up front. It's not a lot, but there are a couple of players that are 300 pounds. And they're 7th and 8th graders. They'll just kneel.
I think it's funny. You can look over to that Mcadory sideline.
Hey, there's your buddy.
I think you're about to see a Gatorade bath. I think the
run
whole
away,
team was
Trey,
going
run
over
away.
there. They still have one more snap. I think they might have to get in.
Yeah, and I think here he goes. He was prepared for it. He took it like a man.
He's been jumping around and running, pacing that sideline all night. That's the kind of energy he brings. You can tell his players react to it.
Man, they must love that guy. Is he still on the run? Yeah, now he's dancing. Trey Cranford's winding the clock. He doesn't need to do that. It's over. You got zeros across the board. Mcadory wins the 2025 Middle High School Football Championship 20-8. Well-fought contest by Fultondale. They could not overcome the turnovers on downs and then the interceptions by Quincy Strickland and the many mistakes that they made.
Yeah, obviously.
All right, let's go down. Let's go downstairs to Christina.
Coach, you got to be cold after that water bath.
Oh, ma'am, I'm a Viking. We love this stuff, baby. We're Mcadory. We love it when things are tough, when things are hard, when things are nasty. So, hey, it only makes sense. We're good.
What can you say about your defense here tonight, especially 7th grader Quincy Strickland? 2 interceptions, but your defense really getting the job done when it mattered.
I love the resiliency of this team. Quincy Strickland was not a starter the first 4 weeks, but he kept digging. He showed out on B-team games, and he got those chances and opportunities to show us he knows what to do. So that's a reminder. Always keep playing through your issues. Play through when you have adversity. You will get your opportunity. I'm so proud of him and all our guys. God, they're good kids. They're just really good kids, and they deserve this.
Right before the clock hit 0, you took a moment to yourself and just kind of put your hands on your face and just kind of soak up this moment. What does it mean to you, this community, and all these fans here about taking this championship home?
It's for Coach Holmes and Doc, the guys who believed in me in the very beginning. Some people felt I was too young to take this job 5 years ago, and now here we are, 3 championship appearances, 2 champs. So, I mean, I don't know, I thank them, and I want to make sure that they understand how thankful I am. I'm thankful for my family and just everyone for being behind me even in the down times. So I'm so thankful for this community that's behind me.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank y'all so much. Go Jackets!
There's an excited classmate for you.
Hey, he's always been like that, and the thing about it is that's not an act. He's genuinely that excited about anything he's involved with, and again, with the way that his players reacted after that win, the Gatorade bath, how excited. They're still out here flipping. They feed off of that energy, and they clearly play for him, and he mentioned Arvia Holmes. That whole program is excited about getting a championship tonight and seeing a lot of kids that are going to make an impact at the next level in the next few years.
There you see the Mcadory Yellow Jackets cheerleading staff, and running to the other end zone, which was effectively their locker room, is Mcadory. And we are soon to present a trophy, or maybe they just take it down into the end zone. The Mcadory players are still sliding and jumping and dancing. Look at that end zone. That's full of some happy Yellow Jackets. Second championship, as he just mentioned, under Trey Cranford. There's the trophy. Pull it out of the box.
And they're trying to get him back over here towards midfield. They want to do this in front of their fans.
Yeah.
They're getting a picture with the scoreboard first, I think might be what's happening.
Well, the scoreboard's been
got
turned off.
That's what happens when you get to be the
home
home team.
When you're the home team and you lose, you're going to turn that scoreboard off real quick. The officials have a trophy as they're taking a knee in the end zone. And hearing from some of the coaches. The band underneath us, Wildcats marching middle school band, is going to take it back up that hill. As we await a post-game trophy presentations. Did they already have the shirts made up? Does it say 2025 on it, or is that just a Mcadory Yellow Jackets t-shirt? What a happy guy. He's dancing with the cheerleaders now. Would he do that in the halls of Pelham High School?
Maybe not. I mean, he's always excited. He's always been excited.
Great.
He's just he's certainly come into his own a lot more comfortable, showing off that excitement.
Nice.
Pretty good football player for Pelham back in the day as well.
I can imagine. You know, he told me last night, he said, I wanted to play at the next level, so I walked on to Alabama. That was very short-lived. So not only is he a good football coach, he's a smart player. Now we're going to get the teams to their respective sideline. Cranford with a big hug. I wonder if that's 21. Yep. Quincy Strickland, the little man with 2 big interceptions. And I don't know if they hand them out, but I'll put you on the spot. If there's an MVP, who is it?
I don't know. I mean, you thought early on Demetrius Jackson was going to run away with that award, but I don't know. I might still lean Demetrius Jackson's way because of how much of an impact he had down the stretch on defense as well, breaking up a couple of passes. But I don't know. It's hard to argue against 2 second-half interceptions for Quincy Strickland. I think you might be right on there. That's the guy that helps secure the win at the end of the day. And when you get to have that moment at the very end, like the last offensive snap for Fultondale to get an interception, kind of sits with you. So I'd probably give it to Quincy Strickland. There's a lot of guys over there you give it to.
Let's go to the trophy presentation.
Metro champion! Yeah! Oh, man. Yeah! So, what we got? All right, good. Hey, so listen, gentlemen, parents, this one's for you! Thank you for all that you do. You raised these fine young men well. It's been an honor to be with you, and I pray that I get to see some of y'all again next year and see the rest of y'all kick butt at the high school. Go Jackets! Thank God. I'm going to keep it quick. I taught y'all ears off enough this year. No group has done what you've done. I've never seen a team that regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the adversity, you just made a decision. We're going to lean on each other, and we're going to say bump it. We're going to be our best guys right now. So thank y'all so much for the year. It's been fun. It's been crazy. And y'all make me pull my hair out sometimes. Y'all so daggum goofy. But I freaking love y'all. And so thank you. And lastly, the coaches who put the time in off the field on Sundays in film, Coach Lockhart, Coach Brown, Coach Terry, OC, baby, Coach London, Coach Bender holding down the defense, Coach Wilson getting the mean uglies up front, Coach Mondo, Doc, Mr. Plump, Miss Jones, everybody in Jacket Nation.
You know, I believe he could keep going. He's got enough energy. That's Trey Cranford, his second championship, middle school championship at Mcadory. And, of course, he wins this one tonight by defeating the homestanding Wildcats for the second time this season. Game one, it was 26-22. The final game, it's the Yellow Jackets prevailing by a score of 20-8. Got a final thought or two?
Yeah, I think you watch middle school games, and I've done a couple other gigs where you're interviewing middle school players and talk about it's all about preparing for the next level. And I think you heard that from Coach Cranford in the pregame. That is the important part. You want them to be able to play at the high school level and maybe beyond that, but you can't tell them that putting a trophy on the line doesn't make it mean just a little bit something more. Clearly to the coaches, clearly to the players. This is a special night for Mcadory football, for that program, for those parents who are still standing over there celebrating. And they'll be here until the lights of the stadium go off. But a big win for Mcadory. Congratulations to Trey Cranford, former Panther, Pelham Panther. He might have converted fully to a Mcadory Yellow
Yeah,
Jacket
I think he is
point.
now.
But,
He's all in.
to them. It was just a fun night.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us, and thank all of our crew. They do just a tremendous job. Christina and to Chris on the sideline as well, and for all our crew in the booth and along the sidelines, we appreciate your time. As Jim Fife used to say, our time is up. We thank you for yours on Jeffco Ed TV.